lived in was on the 4th floor with a balcony separated from the living room by a door. The balcony provided both light and a cool breeze, so my dad would often leave the door to the balcony open and sit on the sofa while he was doing his work. The day the incident occurred, there was a blackout in the area caused by a storm. It was late when it happened, so the apartment was cast into pitch blackness. While the summers were cooler back in the day, it was still pretty hot. So Dad decided to leave the balcony door and windows in his bedroom open to circulate cool air. He usually closed the door and shut the windows every night before bed, but he decided to make that night an exception. He woke up sometime in the middle of the night, sweating. His instincts told him that something was off, so he tried to figure out what woke him up. Suddenly, the urge to answer nature's call hit him, and with a pit in his stomach, he left the room. The washroom was kind of far away from his room. It was on the other end of the apartment, and he'd have to pass by the living room to get there. As he was walking past the sofa, he looked over and froze. The balcony door was open, and a cool breeze was hitting him as he had hoped. What he had not hoped for was to see people sitting on his sofa. Well, maybe not people, but things. There were around 3 to 4 figures sitting on his sofa. He could not make out what they looked like. They seemed to be blending in and out of the shadows, changing shape. What scared him more was that he could tell they were all looking at him. They didn't have visible eyes, but he could feel their stare on him. He contemplated running back to his room, but his bladder was strongly against that idea. Cursing, he shut his eyes tightly, ran to the washroom, did his business, and ran back, feeling the stares on him again as he ran past the sofa. He locked the door of his room, got in bed, and tried his best to go to sleep. When he woke up, it was morning and the skies were clear. He shakily went to the living room, but saw nothing out of place. The balcony door was still open, letting bright light flood into the room. He never told my grandparents about his experiences, as he didn't want to make them worry. The only people close to him who know about this are my mom and me. You might think that he left the apartment soon after this happened, but he stayed there until he completed his undergraduate degree and never had a repeat of that experience. He did, however, always close the balcony door at night from then on, with no exceptions. During his stay in the apartment after the event, he did some research into the history of the building, but came up with nothing. The building had not been built on burial grounds. There weren't any records of murder, suicides, or fatal accidents. This eventually made him chalk up the incident to a bad dream or some sort of hallucination. But I sometimes wonder if the things he saw weren't just a figment of imagination. What if they were real?